I think it's vision of what you actually want to do is like, where do you want to go? Because you can have somebody who works really hard at building a restaurant, like one single store, and you work really hard at building an app that's going to change the world. The amount of hours and effort that go into building an amazing restaurant and that are probably about the same, but the amount of impact is disproportionate on something that can go to gazillions of people. And so I think you have to have some level of vision, and that comes from the people that you're around.
I think certainly being focused on something that you're confident will have high value to someone else, and just being really rigorous in making that assessment, because people tend to, a natural human tendency is wishful thinking. So a challenge for entrepreneurs is to say, well, what's the difference between really believing in your ideals and sticking to them versus pursuing some unrealistic dream that doesn't actually have merit? And that is a really difficult thing to tell you. Can you tell the difference between those two things?
Right.
You know? So you need to be sort of very rigorous in your self-analysis.
One of my jobs as the leader of Amazon is to encourage people to be bold. And people love to focus on things that aren't yet working. And that's good, it's human nature. That kind of divine discontent can be very helpful. But it's incredibly hard to get people to take bold bets. And you need to encourage that. And if you're gonna take bold bets, they're gonna be experiments. And if they're experiments, you don't know ahead of time whether they're gonna work.
I think certainly extremely tenacious, and then just work like hell. I mean, you just have to put in, 80 to 100-hour weeks every week.
Right.
I mean, if other people are putting in 40-hour work weeks and you're putting in 100-hour work weeks, then even if you're doing the same thing, you know that in 1 year you will achieve what they achieve. You will achieve in 4 months what it takes them a year to achieve.
I think the ability to delay gratification, and from a behavioral perspective, it's being able to continue to act on a longer extinguish curve, which is like, if I knock on a door, if I knock on a door and nothing happens, how many more times do I knock on the door before someone opens? So like, if you fire someone and they're like, wait, I want my job, right? You can measure what someone's curve on how many times they will try again on something before they move on and give up, right? And so the longer you can make that curve on someone, the more likely they will hit the jackpot, which then extends how many more times they'll go the next time, which is basically how addiction works too, but you can also use the same concept for good things.
Experiments are by their very nature prone to failure, but a few big successes compensate for dozens and dozens of things that didn't work. So, bold bets, AWS, Kindle, Amazon Prime, our third-party seller business, all of those things are examples of bold bets that did work, and they pay for a lot of experiments. I've made billions of dollars of failures at Amazon.com. Literally, billions of dollars of failures. So it's companies that don't continue to experiment, companies that don't embrace failure, they eventually get in a desperate position where the only thing they can do is make a kind of Hail Mary bet at the very end of their corporate existence. Whereas companies that are, making bets all along, even, big bets, but not bet the company bets. I don't believe in bet the company bets. That's when you're desperate. That's the last thing you can do.
I think Seneca said that we all think we don't have enough time, but it's really we just don't use the time we have well. And I think a lot of it is around like how we choose to pick our identities. To your point earlier, like someone might say like, "Man, I'm lazy." I would say like, "That's amazing." Like a lot of great CEOs are lazy. That's fine. Let's use that, and so let's just make working more convenient than the other thing, and then your laziness will take over. You know what I mean? Just like in terms of how we can frame the problem, right? Like as an example you were saying earlier with the iPhone, like scientific study, anyone can do this. You can decrease your iPhone usage by simply going to grayscale. Like across age groups, if you switch your colors on your screen to grayscale, you will use it 30% less than you normally would. It's like great for most people. That's like an hour plus a day.
30% is an hour plus?
Oh my God, yeah. low. I think it's way, I mean, I think average iPhone usage is probably like, I mean, I think 1 hour is like conservative on that. I think it's like might be even 2.
Think Warren Buffett reading just to be reading? The majority of you are poor because you read poor stuff. You watch poor stuff. You on Instagram watching fights. For real, you just scrolling through like you ain't got a life. For real, some of y'all on Instagram, you on there for 30 minutes. If I ask you what you saw, you don't even know. You just scrolling through. That's a poverty mindset. Rich people don't waste time. They realize it's their most important commodity. They don't watch a lot of TV. They don't do a lot of entertainment. If they're not working, they're studying their craft and getting better at their craft. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, let me say it one more time. There was a language that I needed to learn. Does it mean I need to abandon the language that I learned? Absolutely not. Does it mean I need to put on a shirt and tie? Listen to me. When I do corporate, I promise you, I look like this. I probably don't look this good. Sometimes I got on shorts and a t-shirt. In corporate, why? Because I don't need to necessarily conform. They're not asking me to come to dress up. But I'm so good at what I do, they don't even require a suit. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Some of us don't want to wear a suit, but you're not on that level though. Or you want to wear a suit and act as if your suit is going to compensate for what you are inferior at. Your suit don't make your language sweet. For real, some of you wear suits because you think like you're going to impress somebody with a suit, and you might get in the door, but sooner or later they're going to find out who you are. So I need you to stop having the poverty mindset. So when I quit my job to be an entrepreneur, my mom was like, whoa, what are you doing? I was like, I'm quitting. My mom was like, don't you dare quit. You're going to embarrass me. You got a wife and kids. Does YouTube have insurance? Does YouTube have a 401k? And I was like, yo, Ma, I ain't trying to be funny and I ain't trying to be disrespectful. I love you, but you can't teach me how to be a millionaire because you're not one. You come from the working class, and I'm not mad at you, Ma. We wouldn't be where we are without you, but you told me that every generation is supposed to get better. So I'll take your values, but I won't take your work ethic. Because rich people don't work, they think. The working class will never get rich. It wasn't designed.